All right, hello, hello. Hope everyone is having a good Easter Monday. Sorry, voice is still fighting. It's supposed to rain tonight, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. Not the fact that it's raining, but the fact that it'll wash all the pollen hopefully down. So that's what I'm hoping. Thank you, Nora. Appreciate that. Um, yeah, a little coffee there. All right, so let's just dive into things. I actually have to make sure that I'm off by 10:30 today. Almost that's a client appointment for Monday morning, so we get rolling. Really, right now, currency market is rather flat. It is a European bank holiday, so no real UK or European-based traders this morning. Again, typically we talk about it the other way around about how we're closed but they're open. This is a different scenario where we are, obviously we are open and they are closed. But obviously, currencies is more of an international, more of an internationally traded asset versus what we do in the United States. That's why it's a much bigger scale as far as volume goes. But it means that we can have days like today where it's not really there's not a whole lot going on. There's not necessarily any crazy news going. Bullard speaking at 4 p.m. today. I think that will really I think that should be kind of treated as like our Sunday night gap, is what Bullard says. Not so much. I know, Carol. It's not no pollen, but right now, like when I drive the car, like when I move out of the driveway to start going up the street, it looks like there's green baby powder on the dashboard. Like when you go, it like fluffs over the top of it. It's crazy. It's just the trees, but the trees are what mess me up. And then we have monetary policy notes tonight at 9:30 tonight. With some of the news articles out there, China having some problems. Australian dollar may rise as Europe seeks alternatives. I think it should be interesting tonight to listen to kind of what they say in their monetary policy meeting notes. There could be some interesting data that comes out of it. Different kind of small things that they say that could provide some potential for movement. Overall, it's positive. Again, Australia's in kind of a weird position right now. Um, Weird and such that with China kind of slowing down, China locking down, that kind of stuff, that kind of hurts Australia. But at the same time, if Europe is trying to pick up the slack and say, "Hey, listen, we need more because we have to find somebody besides Russia," it's always harder there. Um, just makes it a little bit, a little bit more of an interesting kind of flair there. It's kind of like, it's like making a recipe and like, putting instead of just regular like, kosher salt on there, it's like putting like pink Himalayan sea salt, right? It's still salt, but it's like a different kind, like right. You're looking for that different kind of flavor. So, yeah. So I think that I think that obviously based off of today, because it's at overnight, it does provide some potential as again Europeans will be coming online tonight versus what they did last night. Okay. Um, Tomorrow morning. So you'll notice that I have all the countries checked, and I have everything over here checked, and I actually have all the yellows here checked, and we still really don't have a whole lot tomorrow. So building permits not necessarily a big thing. The best thing is the Swiss chairman speaking tomorrow. So there's not a lot going on. It's always hard, it's always a strange weekend where you have Easter, you have that Easter kind of wrapping over the weekend for things. Like the newsletter. I haven't updated the newsletter this weekend because really kind of a lot of the European based gaps are coming in tonight, not yesterday. Um, so there's been some commodity gaps, but the currency gaps are just not really existent. They're just not there yet because that market hasn't really come online. So it's always a kind of a funky week. But even tomorrow morning, slow start, nothing there, right? So as far as other news headlines, obviously Kuroda is still doing his. Japan is weak. It helped us. It's like yes, this is not a repeat of last week's or 2 weeks ago um, bit, but it's still kind of the same thing. The yen didn't really have much movement off of it. You're not really seeing anything too crazy in there, but it's all the same stuff. It helps us. We're going to keep it weak. Yada yada yada. Here's the China supply chain issue that they are trying to lift some of the restrictions to kind of help the supply chain because they know there's going to be problems with it. It did okay, growth wise, it did okay in the first quarter considering its baseline was based off of the Olympic time frame. But they're talking about second quarter is going to be a bit rough, right? Because of lockdowns and things. So, um, yeah, yeah. Look at this. Actually, look, you see it right here. China expands growth, but the Aussie dollar is uninspired. Reason why is because they're locking people down. They're putting them in camps. They're not letting them shower. Kind of a weird scenario over there right now. I don't know if you guys are following it all, but yeah, a conservative cuts. Yeah. So. yeah, here's the one about pain, and people are getting locked in. I don't see the article over here, but yeah, people are getting like locked in these camps, like right. It's almost like Outbreak, the movie, how they were like people were riled up and locked into camps. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's just adding to the whole flare of things. And then obviously one other headline with Markin, that his approval rating has dropped. His approval rating fell below 41% in April. Continue to drop into election. He was still picked to win, but um, not as handily, right? Versus Le Pen. Le Pen is kind of where he's more of a left guy. Le Pen is more of the kind of extreme conservative. Um, be a very interesting sway. Like I said, I still think he probably wins, but the fact that this is even but he faces a tight race. I don't know that I would say tight. I would say it's like a moderate race, but um, yeah, if Le Pen takes over, there'll be major changes out there. Some major changes. Kind of the whole kind of conservative switch, which would be interesting too, because if you know in the final round, if a conservative takes over here, the Senate will most likely flip back conservative, right? We have the Supreme Court where it is right now. Obviously, I don't know if I don't you really can't consider Boris extreme conservative, but they have different names for things. But I would say he's definitely more on the kind of the right side of things. So, it just goes with that whole more conservative side of things. So, we'll see how that one unfolds. But again, nothing that really kind of is affecting us today. But look at this currencies over. The dollar yen and the Aussie dollar 16. Oh, there we go, 17 up, but back down again. That's the only thing moving in currencies. So let's drive over and look at some of these indices or things out here. So obviously the VIX, nice little gap over the weekend. Some of the things we did here, that Russia lost its flagship. It was just a missile cruiser. They had like 3 or 4 of them. Russia is not. They only have one carrier. It's not even a big carrier. Russia's naval strength is not in surface ships; it's in their submarines. They lost the missile carrier. They can't, or they lost the missile cruiser. Um, they can't bring any more down because of Turkey. But I think at this point, it's like, wait a second, you just and I don't know. This is where Todd and I had a little disagreement here. I'm totally on board supporting the Ukraine. I think we should have said that. Listen, every tank that crosses, we're going to cross in as well to protect them. That it's our job. NATO's job is to, or the UN's job is to protect countries, right, from aggression. We didn't do that. We just sent missiles. I think the Ukraine going the offensive is the absolute worst thing that we could do. Let Russia dwindle themselves into nothing, right? It sucks that it's the expense of somebody, but it was a missile cruiser with almost no missiles left on it. There was some ammunition on it, sure, a little bit, but it was almost out. Russia can't afford, and nobody's going to sell them anything that they couldn't refuel it. But now you've just given them a martyr that they can say, that's it, we got to stop more cities. Maripol is about to drop as well, so that could be why we had this big gap up here in price. Like I said, the Ukraine, depending on who you talk to, they were kind of winning the war of attrition, right? Russia was winning overall, but it's taking an extremely heavy toll. It wasn't the quick, win that they thought it was going to be. We were sending in more missiles so they could even be more defensive, and they were, Russia was really having to play the long game, right? I don't know. It's one of those things. It's a very difficult chess game. Like, we don't want to go in there because it'll make them more angry. Well, we just gave them we just gave them, missiles that blew up a ship, right? Those were not Ukrainian designed missiles, right? They were ones that we gave them. So yeah, they're gonna warp it that they don't see any difference. So that's probably why it's up. But again, it should be dropping back. There's been no other major headlines. We haven't seen anything else out there. UK markets are closed. We should see it drop, and we're seeing kind of the indices kind of flip because of it. Again, everything was at a 23.6. It looks like they're trying to turn it around for the day. Which again, if this comes down, it should. Big movers are obviously the commodities. Natural gas was up at 770. Oil moved up a little bit as well. Gold and silver pulling back a bit. They were up 1%, 2%. Now they're up 0.8, 1.3. So they are reversing back from the European session. But as far as the currencies go, I mean, this is pretty flat, right? We had this big drop. We were looking for 73, 75, and we dropped them. We're kind of sitting there right now in that area. No real news. I mean, this is all smaller kind of headline news here. New Zealand has a meeting minute tonight. I'm sorry, Australia. So that's probably, and again, I would say right now, if we can hold this, and you can see it's just so flat right now, it's not doing a whole lot. There will be some more dollar movement, but I would say that this is a potential kind of takeoff area, depending on if we pull back down again. I don't know where we'll end up being, but we can remove a bunch of these now. Let's clean this up. Don't need this level. Let's remove this. Um, that level's gone. We'll take that one off now. We'll leave this. We'll pull that. We're gonna leave this. All right. None that like stand out. We're stuck in this area right now, right? We did go lower though, so it's kind of like we're down to. I really don't like any of those draws either. There. Probably what we're looking for. Again, if we can get dollar strength coming back in now that the dollar market's open up, that could be a takeoff point. Um, yeah, on a slow Monday, I would say that look for potential, look for 73.40, right? And again, if we could just grind this down as we get dollar strength in today, it needs to move 26 pips, so it's not a ton, right? A Monday where there's nothing, no European influence. Could we move that far down? Sure we could. And again, just in preparation for something good from the monetary policy meeting notes to give us kind of a pop off that level. So we'll see. Again, don't love it, but I mean, I'd love it if it comes down. But where it is right now, it's gotta do some. We need some dollar strength coming in. We've already seen that dollar strength overnight. So, but right now it's rather flat. Dollar yen. Remember, the yen is super weak. Yen strength, and now we're just stabilizing. This one, kind of same thing. We just been really kind of. We need a new trend in this one. I think this one's going to have some problems going much higher. We knew that we can see people where up here at the 35.52 level. I don't know why it's like that. Yeah, I mean, we got tops and bottoms in. It was supported. It wasn't really at a great level. We were looking for push all the way down to 92.50. I'm really smashed in this zone right here. We're really smashed between here, and we're sitting right in the middle. So, let's bring this across. For news, I mean, again, we have this level here. There could be arguments made at either of these two levels as well. We really need this to kind of, again, we need to see some yen weakness before news tonight to give us kind of an idea of where we're going to be. Top side, I mean, kind of the same thing. If it rallies up before that monetary policy meeting thing tonight, maybe, maybe we get it short this position. But right now, we got nothing until this. Right, this is the magic line that we're looking for. So, maybe we pull up into this zone and we go short from there if we have Aussie strength from now till then. If not, we have a couple different downside, kind of entry areas. But right now, I mean, look, we've done European session. We did absolutely nothing, and really, if you take the yesterday's where we started from, just nothing. Right, there's no movement at all. So I'd say prepare this one for kind of a top or bottom loop. I mean, this is just not where the place. This is just not the market right now for movement. Euro pound. Obviously, both these are closed. It's a bank holiday there. It ground up a little bit and literally pushed right back again. So from the 15th, we closed here, right here. Had a little pull down, pull back, and we're really not much different. We are sitting now officially 4 pips from where we were Friday with no market open. So, if anything, I would say again, any European headlines, I would expect to see this one continue to push lower. Remember, we talked about this one coming all the way down and then grabbing this the 23.6. I'd say overall, I'm still looking for a target down below. I will say that there is a small little bounce area here, which is not bad. And again, it has nothing to do. Ignore the 23.6 here, but you had a decent base and it pulled off, and it's barely been able to push in. And then again, we got a front run on it as well. So there is a potential kind of long area right here, and this could be something in the overnight. It's It's only dropped 20 pips, but the market's not open, so we'll see if we can get it. But if we can pull back again, that 82.67 could be something for kind of a kind of a decent, probably maybe like a decent long if we can time it with the open, right? That European Open would be today's the 18th, right? 19th be right there. So if we can kind of grind down, that could be a decent area when it pops to it. I mean, again, we could do it at like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning too. We could do it a little bit early, right? May not be horrible. But again, super, super flat for this one. Euro yen, same thing. Here's that draw from last week. We can remove it. Again, we talked about a top at 137, and we hit the 137 last night at like 10 p.m. and then dropped down, but we're at the exact same spot. Let's see. Here's our 15th candle. We're actually, let's see, 15, 17 is red. We are officially 1.5 pips from where we close on Friday. And again, holiday market, not much there. Yen screaming that we were weak, and there's absolutely no movement. So I'd say watch out for 137. Again, there was the one hit that dropped back down again. It was a decent push. You guys could have played this one in the overnight. Besides that, there's really not a whole lot here else that we can use. I guess we can, let's move some of these just to kind of clean this up. I guess if we wanted to use kind of, whoops, do like a low to high, see if there's any hidden areas. Wouldn't say hidden, but I would say that, yeah, there is kind of an area sitting right here. And again, we've seen kind of price bounce off of it. That's hiding around the 50. We got some room now, but could this go down like just like the euro pound where we saw the weakness and a buy point for the open? Yeah, 136.25 is where that would be. And again, it would coincide with a 50% retracement of a fib from low to high from Friday till this morning. But right now it's sideways. We just got to break it. Euro dollar, also exactly where we were from Friday. And again, this trend's gonna. Here's the gap, right? Absolutely no really Sunday night gap here at all. It'll matter more tonight, and it just kind of this is what stinks about it, right? We closed here on Friday, and right now we are 1.4 pips from where we were Friday. So market is screaming. Not really. It's not. And really, the 50 didn't even get hit. So we talked about this being the bottom at a 23. It did have some issues. Never even made it back to the 50. So I mean, at this point, I think we still look for the 107.54. We have that U.S. strength coming in. Could there be a long somewhere down here? The 107.53. Yeah, potentially. Again, and that would kind of match up with what we're seeing in the euro pound, euro yen, and then obviously and actually the Aussie dollar as well. Kind of dollar strength in the U.S. session, followed by a retracement up again. I do think that it is important to note here. Again, it's not the cleanest of entries, right? But it was a decent candle, and it kind of was tested. If you're looking for something a bit more aggressive, there could be you could be using that as a potential kind of base or kind of a front run on the 50%. Remember, people will put orders in front of the 50% to try to get in a little bit early. That's probably where it comes in. But again, absolutely no trend, completely sideways. There's not much you can do with that in that market. If I had to make a call right now, I would say this one is probably more bearish for today, more than anything else as well. Okay. Um, Pound yen. Also, yen is super weak, and what did it do? Gain some strength. And we're bouncing in that level. I'm going to remove it though, and we'll kind of put a top on this one. Um, Still bullish, right? I think still bullish on this one. Let's see if we surge this up. Yes, we're kind of coming off of this. Kind of a weird spot, right? We kind of bounce off the 50 in there. It's not really clean. If you look at it right now, you can see that there's a lot of wick in here, showing us a lot of low volume. Not really sure what people aren't really sure what to do with it right now because there's a lot of indecision. Um, we do have some sellers back up here, and I wouldn't be surprised if that comes in as a 50. Yeah, came right in as a 50, right? And there are buyers there. Kind of take on the pound is they're closed. They're not doing anything today. Again, we were seeing the euro pound kind of grind down a little bit. Again, if we stabilize ourselves here, maybe a little bit higher. But right now, we're running into the sellers that we're at about right at the 50. I'll pull this back so you guys can kind of see it, right? This level right here. And are the sellers there? Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a big area for sellers, but there's your sellers. So more of a short type scenario here. And remember, the yen is weak, right? Even though this is coming down. So it's all right. I don't necessarily love this one again being close. I think 6 o'clock tonight is more when these gaps will occur. So or quote gaps, not actual gaps, and that's where we kind of get some momentum. But right now, you know, it's a holiday. Um, again, your Pound dollar, kind of the same thing. This one, I believe, tagged the 23. Yeah. Grab the 23, and you can see that we had that area of basing sitting right there, and that's kind of what we touched and banked off of. There's the base right there. Um, Again, I think this one comes down. We were talking last week about when we found the top on this one. We hit the Harry Potter long, and then once that top was in, we were talking about a reversal back down. We were looking at 129.88 is the overall target. We're not there yet. It kind of stopped. Again, we're looking for a push now. If you are in a trade, I think pound dollar short is probably fine. If you're not in, maybe a little bit late. But I think the 129.88 is really what we're looking for. Again, matches the other chart. UK traders can't stop this one. There's not much else you can do with it. So, um, again, I wish I could provide something more insightful, but when there's a bank holiday for the main trading volume of the world, it's kind of hard to set that up. But again, if you were looking for a short on this one, the 23.6 just got tagged off of a supply zone. Look for it to continue to drop down, and your target be 129.88. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD came up and actually respected the 78.6, right? We've seen it there again, and if you had to draw something in the overnight, you could have drawn it that way, right? It's okay. Again, a lot of this one is associated with oil. Oil is down a little bit right now, but I think the CAD is still playing catch up a bit. Um, Fortunately, people are looking at some of these other things out here, like, man, the U.S. is in trouble. Um, Right now, I think this one, although we've talked about dollar strength in the other pairs, I think this one has a little bit more of a kind of channeling going on here. We obviously had a level here, right? And it supported itself. And we know that we have, and I'll just extend this one across. We know that we have buyers in here. They come up here again, they've hit it again, and they push back. We really need to clear those two areas. I would say right now, looking for a breakout out of the top, out of 126.44 is probably decent, and vice versa. If we have a break of this channel on the downside, the 125.86 are both decent opportunities. There are basing levels to use, and again, the top side is not fresh. You have your 1, 2, and technically 3 hits. So again, going higher, looking for a profit target all the way up top. The 126.76, I think, is where that one goes to, and vice versa. If this one turns and flips, you're looking for profit targets pretty much down at this level right here, the 125.43 level. But like I said, there's not. Unfortunately, it's kind of one of those things. There is no news really to act as a catalyst today, and there's just, unfortunately, there's just not much you can do with that. Wait, what? Oh, you gotta love these spam messages. It's actually not spam. It was what are you waiting for? It's your tax payment. All right, sorry, just checking the message real quick. So yeah, with lack of any news, tomorrow, I don't know if we're gonna get any better on this one, but I think you know watching Russia closely is obviously going to affect oil. Oil is holding firm at 103.72. Um, we'll see where it goes. I mean, I would say that this one is kind of trending down, but there's so many buyers sitting right here that were formed on Friday. It's got to really break that. I think, again, like I said, I think of the two sides breaking, I think I like this side the most right now. Let's set it up there. Again, 1 to 3, I was almost dead on. Again, profit target should be before 125.43, but something along those lines, right? It's my favorite. Not so much. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss last week we talked about levels up at 94.45. That's what we ran into, and you can see in the overnight. This one's been a screamer, right? 22 pips has been our channel since. Let's see, we established this channel on the 14th, which would have been Thursday. Since Thursday morning, we've been in a 20 pip channel back and forth, smashing into this kind of aggressive level at 94.45. We're still there. Again, we're seeing some dollar strength today. I think the Swiss market is closed too. I think. I want to say yes. I feel like they are. Right. Um, eh. I don't know. The Swiss is in a weird place. It would have been a flight to safety had they not opposed sanctions as well. So they're kind of messing up this geopolitical trade for us here. It's like now that we don't have that, what do we have? Like, why trade the Swiss? I would say overall, bearish the Swiss. Do I think the U.S. the dollar is going to be able to smash through? If it does smash through this level, it's hit twice already. It can go a little bit higher, but I wouldn't say that this is anything. I don't know. I wouldn't say this is anything higher, right? Or I think it's got to brace. We need something major, right? We need that point 0.5. We need Bullard really saying something really inflammatory. Um, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Um, Trying to think. I don't even think. Let's see. Uh, Does it count so far in relation? So maybe. Hmm. Oh, look, the Shining. Nero, here you go. The Shining axe is going up for sale. You should better get $100,000 for that axe. Yeah. Eh, I really don't know. I don't know if Bullard will be able to. Yeah, at 4 o'clock today, I don't know if he'll be able to bounce it. Maybe we see some dollar weakness coming in. We see some, but I'd say overall, we have two levels here we got to break through before we really continue with bullish sentiment on this one. I think this one is more bearish feeling in my mind to drop this to the downside. Dollar yen. Dollar yen also pretty flat. Dollar yen is the second place at 17 pips. But is it really anything amazing? Not really. I mean, here's the gap. We pull back down and kind of hit it, and we're a little bit higher, right? So from the close on Friday, we're basically 18 pips. 18 pips on Friday. Um, Again, talked about the dollar strength coming in, but we're seeing obviously the yen strength coming in the pairs because Garada is weak, 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 weak. Um, not really a lot of pressure on this one. I would say, if anything, I'm probably a bit more bearish focused. Looking at this one, you're seeing kind of a top down there. Is there any well established trend right now? I'd say not really. Right? I'd love to say that there's a great kind of grinding trend, but there's not. Last week we were definitely grinding higher with it, but right now not so much. Right? Really, right now not so much. So, um, again, with the VIX coming back down again, sucking the volatility out, there's not really a lot for this one. So, as I said, I hate Monday holidays for the rest of the world. So currencies is quite. Actually, look at this. I don't know if you guys can see the little numbers over here. The biggest mover right now is the pound dollar down at 0.17%, right? Euro pound is up 0.07, euro yen is down 0.02, euro dollar 0.04, um, pound yen, most volatile pair, down 0.13, dollar CAD 0.07, dollar yen up 0.17. So just so boring, right? Cryptos are obviously down as well. You can see Bitcoin is below 40. They're all in the red. Ethereum actually taking it worse, down 1.82. Doji down 2% right now. Bitcoin holding a little bit firm at zero point 0.6. Bonds also grinding down. Again, the dollar strength in there. And again, this is something that we've talked about. You're going to continue to see. And each day it tends to tick a little bit lower on this one. Again, traditional options in this realm have worked out well to the downside. Volatility is a little high, so buying puts is a little bit rough, but definitely ways to do it. Going across the commodities, oil. So, oil, we knew we had a level at 105. We talked about 105 being a big psychological level. A lot of the oil kind of currency, the oil price right now, a lot of it has been driven by demand, particularly what's going to happen with. Are we blocking Russian oil? We're not blocking Russian oil. Is the UK going to, is European Union going to use it? Um, I mean, it's down 50 cents from, really kind of where it was, where it opened last week, but it hasn't made a major turn yet. There are big players with the U.S., but the European markets are out. We tend to see a lot of our movement. Again, we see a lot of a lot of this movement happened in the European session. Looking at this one as that's ours, you see European session from here to here. So with a lack of a European session, I mean, where we are now, I'm okay with us creeping higher. Um, I'd really like to see what the surplus number is this week, or if we have a surplus number this week. Um, Actually, that's a good question. Might as well do that this week. Let's see. Wednesday. Do we have it? Yeah, crude oil. Okay, I wasn't sure if this week because of Easter Monday if they did move it back, but I'm very curious to see what crude oil looks like. I mean, we've built so much supply over the last 2 weeks, right? We started with 2.4, and then we were up to 9.4. 9.4 surplus is a huge amount. When was the last time we had 9.4? 4.5 was a big one. 6.1. Minus 8 million, right? That's a big one. Here you go. March of 2021. We had 21 and 13. So, yeah, that's quite a build in supply right there, right? So, it's amazing. It's April. Let's see what April. Yeah, we were over here last year. Last year, this time. Wait, hold on. I lost it. April. Yeah. April last year we were using a lot. We got a ton of surplus right now. So we'll see. Maybe that gives us something, but I do like it up at 105. I think that gives us the ability to take some shorts going in. We'll see what the data looks like tomorrow. Hopefully a bit more momentum, but oil right now, I would say I'm a little bit more on the bearish side today. It is already there in the red on a technical level. We do have a basing here. We are touching it right now. We do have lower lows. If it pulls back down into like the 101 again, lack of traders in that market right now. And remember, this market does end early, so I do think that it flatlines a little bit. Um, like I said, a lot of this has to do with Russia, and again, with the UK being the European markets closed right now, there's a whole lot less traders in this market. Now, natural gas continuing to rise. Let's see, did we break? Yeah, we did. We touched seven. Wait, did we touch it? No, we touched 797.7. So we didn't touch 780 yet. The sucker is continuing to move. Now, with that most recent push, it does kind of give us a level here of basing. It is stuck behind the 23.6. I think it's important to talk about where the gap is down here at 737. I'd love to. And last week I said, listen, I just can't get short this one. As high as it is right now, I have a hard time getting short. Every time there's a pullback, and again, gapped higher, based, ended up punching through it and kind of pulling back. Did a little Harry Potter action right over here off the high. So again, I think it's very hard to be like, hey, you guys should short natural gas. No, I just don't. I just feel like, I mean, Russia made comments this morning. Where is it? It starts with the Kremlin. There's still time for you guys to make your payments. I mean, they're due. They. I guess the first round was due in April, and then again, the settlements are due sometime in May. Right? It was the end of April. They've delivered them, but and sent the bills, and they're due from now till I think like the first week or like May 7th, May 10th or something like that is when the bills are due by. Uh, I really feel like Russia's just going to turn the spigot off and be like, "You're not paying in rubles? Okay, we're calling your bluff." Dink, um, and they should turn it off. Um, God, I don't. I have no idea where natural gas will go to. Right? I think it's yeah, very weird scenario. But I think it's coming. So again, natural gas, it's just one of those ones I just don't have any desire to short it right now. It's like, hopefully you've been riding the wave up in this one. But like I said, it's like, oh, I'm like scared to go outside. Like, um, it's been, I don't know, 8 months. Like this time of year, we typically obviously we don't need heat, right? Heat's not the issue, but we obviously do cook with natural gas, or it's actually propane. So I was looking, it's like, we're probably at the stage where we are due to fill up again. It's like, oh, I may just switch out. It's like, man, pull out that gas, range and put the electric one back in or something. I feel like that's the stage we're at right now. Like my energy prices is cheaper than what propane and natural gas is. So this is supposed to be the clean burning fuel they want everybody to use, but it's just too damn expensive at this point. 770 is insane, and I think it has the ability to go higher. Gold. Gold with the U.S. market opening, a little choppy, a little choppy. But I don't really have any decent sellers up in here until again, looking at this, the last big major strong push was at 20, 13. There is obviously a bunch of grinding in here, right, in this level of sellers. But right now, with no other headlines of how we're going to stop inflation, maybe Bullard today kind of lays out the plan. But again, we kind of already know what Bullard's going to say, right? Bullard's going to tell us that, listen, we need to raise point 0.5, maybe even 1, right? We need to be strong with it. And again, he's the only one that I really feel like has any touch of what we really need. But again, left in this environment, gold should be able to continue to grind higher. So, um, again, I like gold for the major headlines, but besides that, it's more of a grindy, a bullish position right now. So, um, let's see. Um, I wonder if Goldgate may get a little bit of help tonight, right, with Australia. Monetary policy tonight, we may get some. Um, we may get some movement with gold tonight, just because there's a lack of any headlines. Um, but in reality, I don't really. Yeah, I would say right now, I mean, China's data was good, right? They're working to relieve the supply chain scenario. I would say gold probably. I think it stays in the green today. I don't mind the candle that it just printed. That's actually not a horrible candle print wise. We'll see if maybe we can get a confirmation on this one. Right, there could be a potential short in here if we can get a little bit of basing below and then kind of a comeback later. Um, 1994. But ideally, I would like to find a short area, but at least before news. And I think, there's one, and I think the big one's going to be up here, the 2013. Let's mark off 2000 because that's going to be a big issue. Oops, I was so close. I missed the look at that. I missed the buy 0.01. Actually, gonna do it this way. Let's see. Text there. See, could I mess this up? Oh, there you go. That's what I wanted. There you go. All right. So that 2000 would be a big thing. So it looks like we could, have a potential reversal. I think this is decent. Obviously, taking profit wise, that's an area right there you need to watch out for. So I would say that overall, if you are getting short this one or you're looking to get it short now, make sure that you are, collecting your profit at 1984, about $10 lower than where we are, which is probably decent. Silver, obviously up twice as much. Silver chopping through. We had a level here. We talked about 2605 to 2616. It launched into it. It rolled all the way back down again, and now it's kind of sitting smack in the middle. If gold does roll, I mean, again, we have an area right there. There's your base, and there's your kind of attempt at it. I don't think we can get a full. I don't know. Can we get a full 1 to 3 in? Let's see. Nope. Close. 1 to 3 sitting right there. So it's close. A little bit deep. A little bit deep, right? Um, Again, for a 1030 reversal, could this one come in? Sure. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of like these two right now for major releases. I really like to hear what Blood has to say, and I like the Fed to really start getting aggressive this week with their point 0.5 messaging, because at this point, I feel like they've just the lack of any knowledge whatsoever, or lack of any true headlines. I feel like they're like trying to figure out how to do a 0.25 again to not mess up the stock market. So not the greatest. All right, let's go see over here. So our 9:30 VIX candle is a quick spike down. Let's see, is there any headlines? Nope, not yet. So nothing crazy in there. So let's check out the indices. All right, so it looks like 9:30 ended up blowing through, so we can remove that now. So 9:30, it looks like 9:30 ended up breaking the 23.6. It was trying. It put kind of a lower stop in there. And again, this is one of those ones I was like, it kind of pulled back to a level, but not really the greatest. It did get front run on the 50, so I'm curious. Well, when I say front run, it did, but it didn't, right? True 50 percenters, you got front run on this one. But as far as kind of rallies go, I mean, that's a 9:30 spike, 9:45 reversal, and again, came all the way back down and touched that 23.6 level. So I think it's a valid area. Again, if we're looking for reversals today, thus far it's been green up. Meaning, do we turn and roll the rest of today? In reality, in full transparency, there's not really a whole lot of news right now that is laying out there that is negative with it. Um, could we be taking a reprieve? Yeah, could be, but technical traders are going to be looking at this level. It is a big one. It is right at 4,000. That's kind of what we touched this morning was that 4,000 figure. We knew that was right at the start of this red, and that's kind of what we banked off of. Um, yeah, I would say there's probably some more sellers getting ready to come in up top. Are we going to collapse all the way down? Probably not. But really, with the VIX coming back down again, there's just no headlines really to really kind of drive this one, particularly with the European markets closed. So, you know, as I said, it should, with a lower VIX, should go higher. We'll see if we can break through this. Um, if we can get a decent base here and a pop through it, that could be the launching point for higher. So overall, I'd say probably more bullish feeling. The bearish trade is already in because it did bounce early for ES. NQ, again, didn't quite open at that line. We were looking for that one as far as a pullback level, and all it did was kind of chop. It blew through, came back down, didn't even respect it. We know that we do have an area up top. This is actually an old level that we had talked about. Right at the 50. If I have to adjust this, let me adjust this up right now. Yeah, so there. We're going to change this one to black. That is fine. We're going to change this one to 14,000. Put that there. There you go. And that is where our black line is. So I would say, right now, I think this one, again, more room to run to the top side in the next 12 minutes. I don't think we're going to be able to get all the way up. Is there a potential profit take in this one? I'd say probably, right? It is right above the 50, so 14,023 is most likely going to be an area where, again, we're going to test these sellers. It is right around the 50. We are going to see some fib traders come in as well. If we can get a nice little pop here in the next 12 minutes, which I don't know if we're going to get, again, maybe we have an 11 o'clock reversal today. Maybe it comes a little bit busier. And again, all it is profit taking for NQ. All the tech stocks are technically in the green right now, but as profit taking comes in, we should see a bit of a reversal in that one. But again, VIX is down. I just not down yet, but it's dropping. I just don't see much slowing this one down in an overall grinding market. Um, at 9:30, you would have not really been at an entry at all as well, so it's kind of an 0 and 2. Again, it chopped right through that 23.6. So anybody that was trying to play that trend continuation, it's not there. So yeah, lack of a VIX, lack of any volatility, lack of fear, they should go up. YM, now YM is the weakest. Now, interesting enough on this one. This one actually, it kind of had an entry in the overnight and came back down, and then that 9:30 mark really kind of exploded it higher. We're gonna move this now. We're gonna remove this. Look at this parabolic move all the way up to this is kind of surprising, but came all the way up, grabbed that 35,500, and then turned and reversed all the way back down again. So this is a very interesting whip, right? Um, I would say that there were probably more sellers in this position at the open than there were buyers. It really didn't qualify for us as an opening trade based setup today. I mean, 9:15 drove it down, so it was more of like a, hey, listen, are we coming to an area to go long? Not really. It wasn't really a good area draw. But again, immediate pop up, 13,500. I'm sorry, 34,500. Man, it just loves that price. And then reverse literally all the way back down to where we were. So YM is the weakest. If we start to see some selling coming in and the other indices out there, YM is not obviously Russell's weakest. YM is the next shoe to drop. So let's see. Yeah, there's not even a little hookup there. Let's see. We got 10 minutes. Let's see if this one bounces off. If 34,417 is going to be the turn. Now, I'm not interested in it because there's no zone there whatsoever. But that's where your 50 target would in again, and we're ready to reversal. Question is this big? Is this big whipsaw? I mean, this is 9:30, and then 9:50 came all the way back down at 10 o'clock. Now we're rallying back up again. So let's see if the negativity sets in. YM will be the next one to turn and roll, and see where will this one go. Um, yeah, I think it's got the ability to come all the way back down here. Probably this level. That would be my downside target for YM. 34,248. Russell. Oh, hello, buddy. My baby delivery is here. All right. Russell on the 15. Look at the volatility of that one. Again, was pulling up. We talked about this one, obviously. Being there with the other four. This one is obviously in the red. Talk about the whipsaw. Look at this. There's your opening candle. There's your 9:30. Spike up, spike down. That's the one on 15. Let's see which direction to go first. Look at that. There's your 9:30. It spiked up and spiked, came down, spiked up and came down, spiked up, down, closed, and then dropped. So, yeah, Russell traders must have had some fun this morning. A lot of stop outs. Again, broke the Globex high. They got short. Boom, got stopped out. Boom, got stopped out. Boom, got stopped out, and they continue to grind. So, yeah, I mean, again, holiday Monday, low volume. Again, bouncing off that same level. That's one we had talked about. It was a level of basing, a couple different touches in there. I mean, next big area of buyers is down here. So, I mean, again, if this stays negative, if God forbid, the YM starts to roll, your target to the downside is going to be 1978 on this one. So, He's like half asleep, Debbie. He's just standing here. He's looking at the screen move. He hasn't moved though. So, let's see what he got here. Twitter. The war is on again. Closed. Found the same buyers. Let's go on with Look at that. Apple. Apple took a gap lower, but he's now rallying. I'm curious to see if Apple runs into some issues in here. Um, again, Apple would help roll this. Again, look at that. Right between the 50 and the 61.8, right there. And there is a touch. So again, options traders out there would be looking at this 167.44-ish level. Hello, buddy. Yeah, 167.44 would be the spot. And again, close to that 10:30 reversal. Do we tag this one and turn and roll? It's possible. It's possible, and this starts dragging the NQ down pretty quickly. NQ is the stronger one here. And then Tesla, obviously, quick drop, found the same areas. Again, you can see that there's a gap right here. Confirmed, boom, took off. So, kind of the same idea. So again, seeing these three in the green is not bad. Again, Tesla rallying, Apple rallying, Twitter rallying, but they're all running. They're about to run into areas where we have seen sellers in the past. So, um, again, if we do hit those, again, that could take this one again screaming. Obviously rallying. We're trying to get this one up to the 14,023. Can we get there before in 6 minutes? I don't know, but comes in at 10:30, 10:45. This is where reversals happen. So let's see if there's any other headlines. Not really. Is this money through the Taylor rule? I'll have to look at that later. So, but yeah, again, very, very slow Monday. Look at this. We've had more movement. Now it's the battle between 20 and 21. We're at 0, -2, -3, 2, euro pound at 16 for a completely closed market. So, man, it's a case of the Mondays today. Like I said, the big movers are obviously commodities. Natural gas pulling back a little bit. Gold kind of doing its thing. Silver doing its thing. Cryptos. Yeah, just not a lot out there. So, look at VIX trying to pretend like it wants to go higher. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. I'd love to say there was amazing trading opportunities today, but not so much. I said slow Monday. So Neuro won on Friday, so Neuro will be going for his 100 pip chips. Everybody else will be going for their 25. Get my phone call. All right. Sorry. All right, let's close it down. Let's see what we got here. Looks like Neuro's going in big. Ernest kind of put a half val and a temp in there. So, all right, winner of today's drawing. Is Neuro going to get his 100? Makes the game very, very interesting. No. Sean had a 9% chance of winning, and Sean stopped him. Look at that. Neuro's over here throwing keyboards today. What the heck is that? Yeah, Neuro. Yeah. Somebody cue the meme of the kid breaking the keyboard or throwing chairs because that's Neuro at this point. But Sean, look at that. Sean going with one on a Monday, and it's slow. Maybe the machine Neuro has a case of the Mondays, right? Maybe it has a case of the Mondays. Sean's getting his 25. There we go. So, all right. He's right. I'm throwing my keyboard. Yep, breaking those keyboards, shooting those keys everywhere. It's what it looks like. So, all right. As I said, going into tomorrow morning, also not a whole lot. So later on this evening, obviously the European market will start to come online when their holiday is over. But this is just one of those weeks. It's not. It is not a crazy busy base week here. I mean, this is Wednesday we have CAD CPI. Again, there's some things in here that looks like we get some CAD strength in there, right? Nothing else. Thursday, Powell is speaking. What is he speaking at? He's at a panel discussion titled "The Debate on the Global Economy." Powell can't even figure out our own economy, so this may not even be anything big for us. I'm assuming the global economy, he'll mention cryptos, so it could be an opportunity for some crypto trading, but besides that, not so much. And then Friday, all the services and manufacturing, but also, look, I mean, look at this. This is our week, right? Non-dollar, boom. That is it. We have one headline, and it's Powell at a discussion panel talking about a global economy. That's it. We got nothing else. So yeah. Anyway, I need an excuse to buy a new one anyway. Exactly, Neuro. Way to make lemonade out of lemons. It's the way to do it, my friend. It's the way to do it. All right. With that said, hopefully tomorrow morning we have some more setups. Hopefully Europe brings us a flood of new trades for this week. Because right now I hate looking at this and be like, "Yep, this is one of those ones where it's better to go outside and enjoy the weather." Except it's about to rain with like 100% certainty outside in Maryland. So I ain't got nothing to do. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. You guys take care. I'll catch you tomorrow morning. And thanks for being here today. Take care.